Hello and welcome back. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next videos, and thanks for supporting the channel as we keep making quality content. Italy is not just a beautiful country anymore. For the right profile, it is becoming a serious relocation option because it combines lifestyle, access to Europe, regional diversity, and a tax system that can be extremely attractive if it is structured properly. What makes Italy interesting is that it is not one market. It is several different markets inside one country. A buyer in Milan is looking at a completely different reality from someone in Puglia, Sicily, Trieste, or Lake Como. That matters because the real opportunity is not Italy in the abstract. It is choosing the right part of Italy for the budget, the tax profile, and the lifestyle. Before getting into it, a quick disclaimer. This video is for general information only and is not legal, tax, financial, or relocation advice. Every case is different, and proper professional advice is essential before making any decisions. Why Italy stands out. Italy offers major cities, coastal regions, mountain areas, historic towns, and a huge amount of regional variety. A world-famous city, a quiet provincial town, a lake region, and a coastal area can all feel completely different. It also stands out because of its depth. It is not a country people choose for one narrow reason. For some, the draw is culture and food. For others, it is business access, family life, or second home ownership. For many foreigners, Italy feels familiar without feeling generic. And unlike what many people assume, not every part of Italy is expensive. Milan, Rome, Florence, and the Amalfi Coast are expensive, that's true. But many provincial markets remain far more reasonable than expected. Who can work? If the person is an EU citizen, they can live and work in Italy freely. No work visa is needed to take a local job, whether that is in a pizzeria, a pharmacy, logistics, engineering, hospitality, or any other ordinary occupation. If the person is non-EU, the situation is different. A proper work authorizing immigration route is needed for local employment. That can mean a standard work visa, a work permit, or, for highly qualified professionals, the EU Blue Card. Residency routes. The first major route is the elective residence visa. This route is for people with passive income who do not plan to work locally. In practice, the threshold is generally around 31,000 euros per year for a single applicant, with many consulates expecting around 38,000 to 40,000 euros for a couple, plus roughly 5,000 to 6,200 euros per dependent child, depending on the consulate and case. That visa is designed for stable, recurring income such as pensions, rental income, dividends, or similar passive streams. It is not meant for local employment, and it is not a casual, I have money in the bank visa. The consulate wants to see that the income is regular, documented, and sufficient to support life in Italy. The second route is the digital nomad visa. The official framework exists, and the income threshold is around 28,000 euros per year, with private health insurance required, and proof that work is being done remotely for non-Italian clients or employers. It is usually a one-year visa with renewable status, so it works well for remote workers who want a legal base in Italy rather than operating in a gray area. The classic tax system. Before talking about special regimes, the ordinary tax system has to be understood. Italy uses IRPEF, the progressive personal income tax. From 2026, the brackets are commonly described as 23% up to 28,000 euros, 33% from 28,001 to 50,000 euros, and 43% above 50,001 euros. On top of that, there are regional and municipal surcharges. That matters because a lot of people hear Italy and assume it is automatically tax-friendly. It is not, at least not under the standard system. If someone is a normal resident with a salary or other taxable income and no special regime, the ordinary tax burden can be substantial. That is exactly why the special regimes matter so much. The 7% regime. The 7% regime is for foreign pensioners, not for everyone. It applies to specific qualifying municipalities, mainly in southern Italy and a few central earthquake-affected areas. It is not a nationwide rule, and it is not the same thing as the 300,000 euros regime. The regions that can qualify include Sicily, Calabria, Sardinia, Campania, Basilicata, Abruzzo, Molise, and Puglia, plus certain municipalities in Lazio, Marche, and Umbria that were affected by earthquakes. The important point is that this 7% regime is about pension income. It is not limited strictly to a state pension. Private pensions and similar qualifying retirement income can also fall under the rule, provided the other conditions are met. The law is about pension status, not a fixed age threshold. The regime lasts for up to 10 years. The €300,000 flat tax. The €300,000 flat tax regime applies to new tax residents with substantial foreign source income, and it is not limited to specific regions, unlike the 7% pensioner regime. That means if someone qualifies for the €300,000 regime, they can live in any part of Italy. From 2026, the main taxpayer amount is widely referenced at €300,000 per year for foreign source income only. There is also an additional amount for eligible family members, $50,000 per additional family member per fiscal year for those entering under the 2026 rules. This regime is designed for high net worth individuals, not ordinary retirees. The regime can last for up to 15 years. How the flat tax works. Under the €300,000 regime, foreign source income is covered by the flat tax election. That means it does not normally get taxed again under the ordinary progressive IRPEF brackets. Italian source income, however, stays under the normal Italian tax system. So if someone has $3 million of foreign source income and $150,000 of Italian source income, the foreign income is handled under the flat tax regime, while the Italian source income is taxed under the ordinary rules. The foreign income does not push the Italian income into the higher IRPEF brackets. Citizenship. Italian citizenship by residence is usually available after 10 years for non-EU nationals, but only 4 years for EU citizens. That reduced timeline reflects the fact that EU citizens already have free movement rights within the Union. The requirements are important. A clean criminal record is expected, and the applicant generally needs to show stable legal residence, integration, and compliance with Italian rules. For citizenship by naturalization, the language requirement is typically Italian B1. In other words, it is an intermediate level, not advanced academic fluency. Cost of living. Italy can be expensive or affordable depending on the location and the lifestyle. Big city central areas and premium tourist zones are obviously more expensive, but many secondary cities and smaller towns remain much more reasonable than people expect. For housing, a solid long-term rental in a secondary city or a non-premium area can often sit around €800 to €1,500 per month, while more desirable urban or coastal areas can move higher. In premium markets like Milan, Rome, or Lake Como, monthly rent can easily range from around €1,000 to €3,500, depending on the area and apartment size. For groceries, a single person can often spend around €250 to €350 per month if cooking mostly at home, while a family of 4 may be in the €900 to €1,300 range, depending on habits and region. For the cities mentioned in the script, a practical monthly budget might look like this. Italy's rental market is a tale of two countries. You can still live fairly cheaply in places like Puglia or Sicily, while Milan, Rome, and Lake Como push you into a completely different budget bracket, often closer to Paris or London than to Southern Europe. Safety. Italy is generally a comfortable and stable place for many expats, and it is not usually thought of as a high-risk relocation destination. In the Global Peace Index 2025, Italy is ranked 33rd, which puts it in the category of a relatively safe and stable country by global standards. That does not mean everywhere is identical. Big cities still have the usual urban issues, and some tourist-heavy areas have pickpocketing or petty crime. But as a broad national picture, Italy is not a country people usually choose in spite of safety. For many, safety is part of the attraction, the real trade-off. Italy works best when the lifestyle, tax profile, and budget all line up. To summarize, Italy has a pathway that could suit you. As you can see in this table, everything depends on your nationality, wealth, family structure, and whether you want to work effectively in Italy or live in a specific region. Take a moment and pause the video if needed. Closing. The real reason wealthy people are moving to Italy is not just beauty. It is the combination of lifestyle, EU access, regional opportunity, and, in some cases, very serious tax planning options. Italy can be one of the strongest lifestyle moves in Europe. What about you? Which place would be a better fit for you? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.